Welcome back. Ed Martin here on the Pro America Report. I've been really looking forward to speaking with this guest. Mr. Terrence K. Williams is, everybody knows him. I mean, he's sort of on the scene everywhere. I think he's a comedian originally. He's done acting. He's all kinds of things. But now he's got a new book out. Comes out in about 6 days, if I'm looking at my calendar right. It's called From the Foster House to the White House, and about 1.5 million, $1.5 million something follow him on Twitter at W_Terrence. Make sure you spell Terrence with an E, Terrence. I spelled it with an A, and I got myself lost in Twitter. But welcome, Mr. Williams. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on, brother.
Well, so, hey, I love on your pinned tweet on your Twitter feed is a picture of you grinning on the cover of your book, From the Foster House to the White House, and then a picture of you, I don't know, how old were you when and it's the same smile, of course, it's the same man, but you're about 25 years ago. Tell me about how did you get to write the book? I'm not talking about what's in it, but somebody said, you're doing great, write a book, and you had to sit down and write a book. So how did that come about?
You know, a lot of people have been wanting to know more about my story, and a lot of people were emailing me and inboxing me saying, please write a book, we want to know more. And I really hesitated. To be honest with you, I did not want to do it at first because I had to relive a lot of things. And it was, and I was like, oh, do I got to think about that stuff again? Do I got to think about all those things again? You know, even though I've always been outspoken about me being in foster care, I never really went into a lot of detail. So I was like, oh, this is almost like talking to a therapist. I'm going to have to relive all of this stuff. So I said, you know, what, I need to be, I do want to inspire foster kids and other people that are facing challenges. So I said, and the fact that I made it through all of that, I can at least help out other people by sharing my story and giving them hope and inspiration and motivation.
Well, and we're talking, I think you're right. We're talking with Terrence K. Williams, and the book is From the Foster House to the White House. It's out on September 9th, available everywhere you buy books. You can find it. All right. Now to the last couple years where you've established yourself. You mentioned people want to know more about you. You're established yourself as a charismatic leader, especially on video. I've seen you on Twitter more than anywhere else, but I know you're in other places with it. But, you do these videos and you've got a sense of yourself. You're kind of not just confident, but you know what's going on, and you've got your voice now. How would you describe your voice, Terrence K. Williams' voice in this moment, what you're doing? What is your voice?
I've never thought about how I would describe my voice. You put me on the spot. I never think about that.
Well, and what I mean, I'll tell you what I mean is that when I watch you, nobody's as talented and as good as you that hasn't, you were an actor, you're a comedian, so you know how to perform. But I remember one time a politician said, you give a speech enough times and suddenly you'll click and you'll feel you just feel comfortable in how you're not exactly lecturing. You don't lecture people, you're teaching, but it's kind of, and maybe I'll ask you this way and get to the same question. Why do you feel like you need to talk? Why do you feel like you're going to tell people? What is it? What's motivating you to get out there?
I've always been a talker. I've always been outspoken. Actually, in elementary, my teachers used to call me Motor Mouth, because I always had something to say about everything, and I've always been the type to speak my mind. And it's hard for me to hold back. It's hard for me not to say something, not to say what I feel. And a lot of family told me, Terrence, stay out of politics or you will never make it in Hollywood. But it was so hard for me just to keep my feelings to myself. It was hard for me to keep my opinion to myself. I said, no, I need to tell people my opinion. I need to let the world know that, that hold on. These people, because you have people out there, politicians, that call themselves speaking for me, saying that just because I'm black, I'm a Democrat, saying all black people support them. No, they don't. I have to say something. I have to let them know that they're wrong, right, because I'm black and I don't get down like that. So, and then I wanted to, also educate other people in a fun way, though, so not only express my views and try to get people to listen to the other side, get people to, because we are living in now in today's climate, if you don't agree with somebody, if your opinions are different, they don't want to hear what you have to say. So, but some of those people listen to me because I do it in a fun way, and I do it in an entertaining way. And since I do it in that way, I've actually have converted people over to the other side, because they say, okay, I'll listen to this character.
Well, I'll tell you what the listeners can hear in your voice, and I hear it, and I see it on your videos. If they haven't looked at it, I'll put it up on social media to go follow. And again, it's at W as in Williams _ Terrence is his Twitter handle, and he's on Instagram and other places too. But it's joy. That, in other words, the book, I've only read the excerpts of the book. I'll get the book when it's out. But, you had a tough time. But, growing up. But let's be honest, everybody has a tough time at some point, right? So what the thing about Terrence, to me, what Terrence K. Williams says is, I had a tough time too, but not only am I here, but I'm laughing and smiling. It doesn't make it easier, doesn't make it simpler, doesn't make it anything else. But I will hone in on something else, because you said it, and I think of it as a sort of Herschel Walker dynamic from the convention. When Herschel Walker said, I've been friends with this guy 37 years, and when people tell me he's racist, I'm offended, because don't tell me I don't know what the game is. I'm Herschel Walker. I'm a black man, been around, raised in the South. You're telling me I don't see a racist? I mean, what kind of? And so that's one of the things, Terrence, that seems to me, if Donald Trump was a racist, there would be 50 African American, car parkers, or someone he worked with who said he called me this, or they've never had any evidence. And a guy like you who could, I'm a white guy. I don't know anything about racism, so I'm not speaking. I'm just saying you should be given credit for spotting it a mile away, and you're not saying either the policies or the man is racist.
Exactly. And you know what? I met President Trump, okay? And I can tell you right now, this man is not a racist. Now, one thing that I've learned, and I've been on the Trump train since day one. Now, me going through when I was in foster, I started foster care at a very, very early age. I mean, I remember actually that picture that you asked me about that I posted next to my book cover. That was my first day going to kindergarten, and I was starting, and I moved into a foster home before I started kindergarten, and so that was when I was in foster care. And so that was that picture. But listen, I've been in some abusive homes. I've been around a lot of bad people. I've been around a lot of good people. So at an early age, I was able to pick up this sense of bad people, to pick up a sense of good people. And I can tell you right now, the reason why I supported Trump, I knew he was real. I've been able to sense real and fake. I can spot real and fake and phony out real quick, because I've had to be around that, because I've dealt with a lot of bad people going through foster care. So I've been able to pick up on that real quick, And President Trump was not that at all. And I knew this man was the real deal. And that's why I supported him the day he came down those escalators looking like $1 billion.
We're talking with Mr. Terrence K. Williams. His new book, which will be out in about 5 days, is called From the Foster House to the White House. Terrence, I want to ask you about, and it'll be in the book a bit, but I also want to ask you, my old boss, my mentor, the late Phyllis Schlafly, wrote a book called Who Killed the American Family? And in the book, she wrote about a lot of the problems in our policies and all. But one thing she wrote about was the court system, and how the state level had become dominated by people that had different agendas. And so sometimes the foster care system was people were get paid to do it, and they're in it for the wrong reasons. We lost the father's rights and all. As a matter of a guy that survived that system and thrived and has joy, when you look back, I mean, we need to change that, right? I mean, we need people to understand how much we have to return. There's a lot of kids in tough situations, and they seem to not get much attention. I don't want to be disrespectful. We do a lot of talking about sexual trafficking for young girls. We should. It's terrible. It's horrendous, especially when it's overseas. But at home, there's lots of kids that are in these situations too, boys and girls, that are really challenged. And I'm not sure we're hitting it right. What do you think?
No, exactly. We need to start focusing on our children. There are a lot of children at home, boys and girls, like you said, that need help. that need a lot of support. You have a lot of fathers missing from the home. You have a lot of children in foster care. You have a lot of kids that are going hungry, and we focus on raising. Listen, I love the animals. I love dogs, okay? I'm a dog person. I love dogs. I'm not a dog, but I love dogs. And I like cats a little bit as long as they're not black, because black cats scare me. I only like black people, not black cats.
Got it.
But okay, let me get serious here though. But you have people that are raising that will go to arm's length and that will do backflips to raise money and help out homeless dogs and homeless cats. But here we have children in America that need help. And as Americans, if you are able, you should step up and help out. And for instance, we have a lot of fathers missing. We can't make those fathers come home, but they have a lot of organizations out there where you can sign up to be a big brother, where you can sign up to actually be a father figure to these kids who need someone in their life, these boys who need guidance. So as Americans, why don't we step up? If you can, I don't care if you're not willing, be willing, because you're able. Let's come together as Americans and let's start helping out our children, in this country.
Yeah, I think that might be, again, the book, and I got to wrap it up. Mr. Terrence K. Williams, the book is From the Foster House to the White House. And I think that, the Lord's got a lot of things to do with you, Terrence, but one of them is this ability to give people hope when they see they got a lot to survive, but also shine a light. America first means, you can't love your neighbor overseas until you take care of your neighbor right next door to you. And I think that's one of the things. This is a great help for you to do this. So congratulations on the book and everything you're doing, and stay in touch. If we can help you in any way, we'd love to.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you.
All right, Mr. Terrence K. Williams, his book is out in just a few days, From the Foster House to the White House. We'll take a quick break and be right back. It's Ed Martin here on the Pro America Report. Be back in a moment.